Stephanie Chung, your go-to for all things marketing, mindset, and manifestation. I grew my online business from 0 to beyond 6 figures in 8 months. My purpose is to empower women to step into the highest, most aligned versions of themselves. If you are ready to take charge of your life, learn how to design a wildly successful business, and leave limiting beliefs behind, you've come to the right place. You will learn the actionable tips and step-by-step strategies on money, manifestation, and social media. It's time to step into your role as boss, to raise your vibration and tap into your unlimited potential today. Welcome to the Social Reset Podcast. Hi, everyone. I am here. I'm about to bring on my Magicmind student, Chanel. She is a holistic health elevation coach. She is so beautiful in her expression of vulnerability, expressing who she is unapologetically, telling her story. I cannot wait to have her on and share all things healing and vulnerability and self-love showing up online. So, yay. Okay, I'm going to bring her on. And hi, Chanel.
Hi, Tiff.
How are you feeling today?
Calm.
Yay, good, beautiful. Okay, so I was just sharing that we're going to jump into some conversations around healing, vulnerability, food, of course, and just showing up as our unapologetic in our unapologetic expression as women, as business owners, bringing all of ourselves to the table. We've had some very vulnerable conversations lately and sharing your story and connecting with pieces of you that you're bringing into your work. I feel like you are one of those people that it's very clear to you that like your work, the evolution of who you are, your purpose around food and nutrition and feeling good and having a good relationship with your body and having a good relationship with food, like everything is intertwined in your work, right? Like you bring all of yourself to the table. You've always brought all of yourself to the table, even when we're working in BAA and now in Magicmind. And I just really admire that about you. So I'm excited to jump in. I'm going to let you introduce your beautiful self to everybody here to kick us off.
Thank you. And yeah, thank you for that intro. I find it actually really hard to separate myself from my work, which is why working the traditional job and splitting your work and personal life was just never it for me because I want to be all in.
Yeah.
It's the best of me to get, my clients' best results. So yeah, I'm a holistic nutritionist, health elevation coach, now calling myself a food fairy actually, because that is what I do.
I saw that. I love that. I love that. That's so good.
Thank you. Yeah, I tap into the magic of food to help you heal because food is something we eat every day. And, growing up as that like firstborn daughter of an immigrant family, whenever you went to the buffet, it was always get the most bang for your buck. And that's what I do believe in everything, getting the most out of everything. It's like my experience at the optometrist wasn't just to get my prescription, but it was to help me get attention back to how my eyes have been really dry and painful. It literally hurts to cry, but helping me reevaluate my entire lifestyle and be really honest with myself. Because, the person we're most likely to lie to is our doctors. Like, everything's fine. Don't give me medicine. I'm totally fine. And that's where I come in. I help you really be vulnerable with yourself, not just with me. I have a superpower of making people feel really comfortable once we get into a room. And that's when the healing begins.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. I feel like you do a very good job of that, of holding space for people to allow them to be their truest self. And then also within yourself, like I feel like you do a good job of that within you and who you are energetically, how you bring that to the table. Yeah, tell us a little more about like, because you interweave like healing and spirituality and all of you and food and health all in the same not only container but through your magic. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? And you can share some origin stories and how that kind of all came to be. Yeah, I'd love to hear a little bit more of that from your own words.
Great, I love that. Man, where do I even start? So yeah, definitely start with my origin story because the reason why I got into holistic nutrition was to heal myself. And I find that to be true for like everybody that I look up to. We all got into what we're really passionate into in an attempt to fix ourselves because we all thought like, hey, I'm uniquely fucked up. There's no way anybody can ever fix my problems. That's how I
Hmm.
thought. That's what I
Yeah,
thought. I was
same.
diagnosed with depression and insomnia at age 16. And, 16-year-olds, you're thinking like, oh, sweet 16, getting your driver's license, going out with friends, making new friends, getting your first boyfriend. No, I was locked up. I locked myself up at home because I felt like shit all the time. I starved myself. I was not sleeping. And the
Hmm.
first thing that my doctor wanted to do was put me on antidepressants.
Yeah,
I didn't want to accept that. My mom didn't want to accept that. Like, I was 16, my brain was still developing.
right.
There's an Antidepressants are not a joke. They're very serious. They come with all sorts of long-lasting effects. They help for sure, but for a 16-year-old kid whose body is still developing, you just don't know what it can actually do for you.
Hmm.
And lots of stuff happened. I was the first person in my family to go to therapy. I went to a non-traditional college, a nutrition school for a 2-year program to get certified as a holistic nutritionist. Because food has the healing powers. Once I started eating, I started feeling less depressed.
Yeah.
And it's not a coincidence. It definitely, well, what I learned a few years after was that we have this connection between our gut and our brain, connected by this
Hmm.
huge bundle of nerves called the vagus nerve. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, so that's why food always made me so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And being in that environment where everyone around me was, they had their different reasons for going to nutrition school. A lot of people were like, oh, I do Reiki, so I want to incorporate this into my practice. Or, oh, I'm a fitness coach, so I want to incorporate the nutrition part into my business or into my life. And for me, being the sponge that I am to easily absorb everything, and also Libra rising, I like
Hmm.
to see everything, I like to encompass everything. Holistic nutrition was just the perfect match for me to fulfill my soul's purpose in this life because
Yeah.
I was able to really integrate the scientific part of food. Like, yeah, you're getting your vitamins, you're getting your minerals, you're getting
Hmm.
your carbohydrates, your protein, your everything, but also the spiritual aspect of food, about how it makes you
Yes.
feel so good, about how it supports your different chakras based on your different colors. And I
Hmm.
was just lit up at the fact that I put myself in this unique position that I can do both. And I know there are
Yeah.
people that want to incorporate both of these, but maybe scared to because your parents are like, oh, don't listen to the woo woo. What does that even make
Yes.
sense? Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if you're a daughter of immigrants, right? And you're a first gen, you come from this background where, your family's story and more of their heritage is rooted in scarcity and, I mean, a lot of our spiritual gifts and magic from our ancestors and our lineage just got like colonized, right? And now it's just like this Western way of doing things that isn't actually our like cultural roots in a lot of cases. um and yeah, thank you so much for sharing that with us. I can absolutely see how that's come through in so many beautiful ways through your work, and not just your work with your clients but with your community, right? And the way that you show up and the way that you talk and share your story. Yeah, I'd love to talk about like the vulnerability piece. Like we talk about that a lot in Magic Mind, right? And the way that I see it for anyone that might be new to this live or to my work is vulnerability as a source of power, right? Because we, especially as women of color, Asian women, we're raised with a lot of shame, right? Shame around our bodies, shame around sex and sexuality, sensuality, and then food. There's this like relationship with food where it's like, here, eat all this because like it would be rude not to, but then commenting on our bodies from a really young age, which can really mess with us. So it almost felt like no matter what we did, it was too little, it was too much, all at the same time. And growing up, daughters of immigrants, growing up as Asian children, as young girls, like there's just a lot of conditioning that we pick up around shame and how we should be, right? I was taught specifically in my family to be very like soft spoken, like don't be too loud. My laugh was always too loud. Like the way that I spoke and expressed myself was just like wrong, right? And so it took me a while to kind of get in touch with my very big emotions that I'd kind of pushed away for a while and let myself be vulnerable and let myself be seen online, right? Something that I had been told not to do for such a long time. I'm now being seen and I'm connecting with an incredible community online, clients, friends, people I never would have met otherwise through sharing my story. And that I feel like is something that you from the beginning have done a good job of, is also revealing aspects of who you are, right? How would you put into words like, or how would you share about your journey to being vulnerable online? How has that helped you to connect with your community, connect with clients, and also deepen your work, your magic?
Yeah, so the first thing I can think of off the top of my head is being vulnerable helped me stop having front bangs that would cover my where my third eye chakra would be. I've been
Mm,
adopting curtain bangs for the past few months because I was always afraid of my forehead being seen, because growing up I just didn't want to be seen. I had these long bangs that went down to here. I would in turn get forehead acne that I was trying to hide. But all my life, yeah, I've been told to play small, be seen and
mhm.
not heard. Whenever I had something to share, even with my cousins, they would just not listen because I was like the youngest cousin and I'm a girl. Like my opinion just didn't matter. Um, Everyone older would just brush me off because of my age. And yeah, so my journey into being seen, man, a year ago when I first joined BAA, like social media just felt like a chore and a drag for me. I just didn't have that connection. But through doing BAA and now Magicmind, like posting on Instagram feels like home. Like we found ways to make it
Mm,
feel like
yes,
home.
I,
And
I
it's
love
just
that.
coming from a pure place of just connecting with other humans, not even for marketing, not primarily for sales, just connecting, building those relationships that can eventually blossom into a new client, a new connection, a new project, just something new.
Yeah,
And it's been hard. Like,
yeah,
no, being
yeah.
vulnerable in general is just fucking difficult. And being vulnerable on social media where your post or your story or this will stay in the internet forever, it's very
Hmm.
terrifying for sure. And my response to like this feeling of fear and anxiety is usually like my stomach gargles. I usually have to run to the bathroom like 3 or 4 times, but
Hmm.
because my brain's like going crazy. And thankfully, I
Yeah.
have the knowledge and the skills to actually address that. And that's what
Hmm.
I coach clients on doing, to really strengthen your gut brain connection so you can actually function like a thriving human being instead of someone that's just hanging on to survive.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I love
think
that.
that
Thank you so
answered the
much for
question.
sharing. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. What are some things that you would say to someone who wants to build and deepen more of their like gut and brain connection? Like what are some foods, what are some
Yeah.
techniques, what are some things that could help if they're also emerging into their vulnerability journey, showing up more, being seen more online? Like what would be useful from your perspective?
For sure, definitely anything that warms your stomach, your solar plexus,
Ooh,
because that's going
yes,
to be
soups.
the fire that fuels your entire being. So yeah, like you said,
Mm,
soups. My favorite go-to is this butternut squash turmeric soup. It's super easy. You just
sounds so
get frozen butternut squash, roast it for about 15 minutes at 450, throw it in a blender, throw a liter of chicken broth in the blender, a good heaping spoon of turmeric, and some other herbs to your liking. Just blend it up and you get really delicious soup that will warm your entire body up. If you
mm,
find that you have cold hands and feet, you can also add a little bit of ginger to do so. So not only is that going to fuel your digestive fire, your energetic fire, but actually help calm down your stomach, because ginger is what we call a carminative, and that's a very relaxing herb that is traditionally used
mhm.
in both Western and Eastern medicine to just really calm down the muscles around your gut.
Yeah. Ooh, I love that so much. It's funny, my grandma and my mom are both very rooted in like Chinese medicine, and that's something that I grew up with gratefully. I'm really thankful for that. I'm trying to get them to teach me some of their magic so I can, hold on to that and pass that on to Alaska. But my grandma always used to mention like make sure that your feet are warm, like put
Hmm.
socks on your feet, eat warm, like, and she would always say like the first thing in your body shouldn't be like super cold water, or shouldn't be like a super cold
Warm
drink. Like,
water, right?
yeah, like everything in the morning. She would always like give me a cup of warm water. She's like, your organs have been warm all night. You're not just gonna like wake them up with a bunch of cold water. And when I was young, I was just like, whatever, right? But now as I'm getting older, I'm remembering and I'm even looking to a lot of the things that they taught me. And like you mentioned, like coming home to that, right? And I think that's such a beautiful way to connect to our bodies, especially when we're doing scary things in our life and in our business, right? That are creating all ranges of emotions with us from a day-to-day basis. Finding foods, finding ways of connecting back home to our bodies, I think is the most important thing. And through our work together, you've always reminded me of that like physical food and nutritional aspect of this process, where I also talk a lot about the energetics, right? The somatics, how you're feeling in your body, but also being, having nutritious foods, taking care of yourself, mind, body, and soul. That's a big aspect of that. So yeah, yeah, I love that. And yeah, I'd love to hear. So yeah, we were just talking a little bit too about like creating content feeling more like home, feeling a little more effortless, right? Like showing up and sharing your story. What do you feel like are some things that have supported you in showing up and sharing more of who you are online? And then also on the other end, we're talking a little bit about like self-care. Like how have you also
Mm.
taken care of yourself and those like vulnerability hangovers and the nervous
Oh my
system
God.
regulation as well, kind of at the same time?
Yeah, that like happens all the time. Sometimes I feel like, oh, my nervous system is way too overstimulated. I can never be regulated. Not true. Definitely not true. Just my brain being an asshole and
I think
saying
that
those
too.
things because,
Yeah,
yeah, because things just seem like there's too much. And
right.
yeah, when you start your healing journey or your spiritual awakening or just trying to get to a different version of yourself, an up-leveled version of yourself, it's terrifying. Your body knows that. And because we don't fight saber-tooth tigers anymore, um, our nervous systems are way more sensitive than they used to be. And we have two components. So we have our sympathetic, which is our fight or flight, the one that kicks our body into overdrive, only focuses on surviving. Adrenal glands
Yeah.
pump out all the cortisol in the world to keep everything at a heightened state so you can keep running. And we have our second state, which is the parasympathetic nervous system, or rest and digest, which is what I'm all about.
Yeah.
Because right now, while we don't have dinosaurs, bears that we encounter on a regular basis, we do have metaphorical bears, like that email that slides in on Friday at 3 p.m., or that missed call from your mother-in-law, or like bills coming in at the end of the month. Like that will kick your
Mhm.
nervous system into overdrive, into that sympathetic state. And
Yeah.
when that happens, constantly you go into overdrive. You burn out because you run out of fuel. Your body can't keep pumping you all these chemicals when there's nothing else going in for that to actually happen. There needs to be a balance in everything. Like your body's always in something called homeostasis, which is equilibrium, where all the fluids in your body are at the right pH. Like your blood is perfectly neutral. If it increases a little bit or decreases a little bit, you're at risk of shock and dying. Anyways, when I'm showing up online being vulnerable, it's not something I'm used to. It's something terrifying because I'm afraid of being
Mhm.
judged. I'm
Yeah.
afraid of people not liking me. I'm afraid of
Yeah.
not fitting in, which is a very primal human instinct because we all want to
Mhm.
belong to a tribe. And so that puts my
Yeah.
nervous system, shifts it from rest and digest to fight or flight. So what I do because of this is I literally take care of myself to the best way possible. When I have a vulnerability hangover, I tell people I'm sick. Like I'm spiritually sick because it feels like
Mm.
for the past week, we've had a conversation about this where I felt like vomiting.
Yeah.
literally vomiting, and I didn't even eat anything bad.
Hmm.
All of these like energies and feelings, they get stored in your organs too. Grief is
Yeah.
held in your lungs, anger is held in your liver, grief is also held in your heart. And so, yeah, I just take care of myself as if I'm sick. So, going back to the foundations of making sure I'm getting 8 to 10 hours of quality sleep, drinking a shit ton of water, and going to the bathroom frequently, basically peeing until it's clear, um, eating whole foods, sticking with colorful foods, sticking with foods that get me excited. Even if that's like French fries, it means my body needs it. I may not be craving it physically, but I'm craving it spiritually because I need comfort.
Mm.
And just
Yeah.
listening to those signs for your body to really take care of yourself from the foundation level. Because if you can't get the basics done, no matter what you put into your body, it'll just be like you're overflowering a pot. And you know that usually when you overflower certain flowers, like orchids, they will die because they're
Yeah.
not able to absorb everything. And so if you're listening or watching to this right now and you look over at your shelf and you see like 10 different bottles of supplements, I invite you to sit with them and really just take them up to your heart and just feel to see if you really need it or not. There are things that you definitely need in the moment. There are things that you can work on later. But, when you look at that, because I got that feeling before too, working at a supplement store. It's like I'd come home with bottles and bottles of things. I would just look in my
Hmm.
pantry and I would feel overwhelmed. And when you're in that
Yeah.
fight or flight state where you're feeling like you're running from a saber-tooth tiger, you're not healing. You're not giving yourself
Hmm.
the grace. You're not giving yourself the time and the space. And your body is like, what the hell am I supposed to do? You want me to do this? You want me to do that? You feel like an overextended employee when your restaurant is short staffed.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up because that's so important, like just because we're not out there fighting bears and having to hunt for food and having to be afraid of these big animals in our way, we still have those reactive systems set up in our bodies to experience those same emotions. That's why I call it like the like the starter hump that you have to kind of get over when you're first an entrepreneur. Like even just making the first post, sharing the first thing, sharing like your first offer, it can feel, it's like, yeah, it's just a post. Like intellectually, that, but in your body, it's like, oh my gosh, this is so big. This is so scary. Everyone's gonna see it, right? It's like our brain gets so dramatic. Our brain becomes an asshole, right? And so, yeah, it's so important to listen. This is like, you talk about it a lot in the terms of like food, nutrition, listening to your body. And a lot of what I talk about in Magic Mind and in my work is like listen to your body when it comes to decisions you're making in your business, how you're marketing, how you're showing up to sell, how you are connecting and communicating with your community, right? Like what feels aligned, what doesn't feel aligned, right? And if all strategies pretty much work, right? How can you hone in on your inner energetics and magnetism and then choose a soul aligned strategy that feels good to you, right? It's like what do you need, and then how can you let your people in on what you're moving through at the same time, and yeah, and then taking care of yourself, taking care of your nervous system. Comfort food is such a good, that's like, I love hot pot, I love like soups, I love pho, ramen, like anything that's like warm that I feel like I can just like dunk myself into. I'm like, yes, sign me up for
Yeah.
that. So yeah, yeah. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for sharing that with us.
You're welcome. I just want to add as well, like, try to eat everything that you possibly can because your body will only crave what you know. It's not going to be like, oh, I've never had, what's something I've never had? I've never had, okay, let's just pretend I've never had a Pop Tart because
Uh-huh.
I actually didn't have a Pop Tart for the first 16 years of my life. You can hear my dog crying in the background.
Oh.
Anyways, if I don't ever eat a Pop Tart, like, my body's not going to know to crave it.
Right.
So it's like if I've never had a knob of ginger or a taste of ginger, my body's not gonna know how to crave it and what it can actually help me with. Like our bodies are
Yeah.
really, really smart. That's why when you are on your period and you have cramps, it's like, oh, I crave chocolate because your body knows that chocolate has magnesium to help you relax your uterine muscles. And
I
it's the
didn't know
same.
that.
That's why we crave chocolate. And when you're sad or stressed, you crave bread and like carbs because the sugar makes your
Yeah.
brain feel good. It pumps up those dopamine and serotonin, those brain chemicals that you love. When you expose yourself to different types of food, you're teaching your body like, hey, this is what it can do for us. So in times of emergency or when you need to channel this feeling next, eat this or eat that, or don't eat this because it made you feel really shitty.
Yeah, that's so good. It's like such a deeper level of intuitive eating in a way where your body is fully supported and it's being led by your body's desires. And so similarly to in business, there's so many links here. I love it. It's so good. You know, it's like in business, it's like, well, we want to do this thing, but then, oh, I shouldn't because I was told not to, or I was told by society that that's bad or wrong or it's different, right? And so we end up doing the thing that we feel like we need to do instead of the thing that's like, well, but this would make me like really happy. And I know no one else does it this way, but I think it's okay that I can, right? And the more that we listen to that voice in ourselves, that's like, yeah, I want to create this just because it feels good to me, just because it feels right, just because it feels aligned,
like
right?
Pregnancy
Even if it might not be. Yes, yeah, like the crazy weird things that don't make sense, but it's like, this is just what my body needs right now, okay? And it's so the more that we allow ourselves to listen to that, and the more we allow ourselves to listen to our bodies when we're making decisions in our business and our life with our food, right? Like, how often do we not allow ourselves to eat the food we want? And how often do we not allow ourselves to make the decisions in our business that we want? And so if we can live, this is why it's all connected. How we do one thing is how we do everything, right? So for some of us, maybe it is just starting with some foods, right? In that case, reach out to Chanel. She's your girl. Go and have a conversation with her, right? But if you're listening to this and like, maybe it does start with foods, right? Maybe it starts little and then it starts like, you see how one aspect of your life affects another aspect of your life, which affects another and another and another. And then all of a sudden you see this like interwoven like spider web, right? Where everything you do is intuitive, it's aligned, and you're able to pick up more and more and more on like, oh, this is what misalignment feels like in my body. I feel it tight in my chest. I feel it in my stomach. Like I feel like vomity, right? It's like you get to connect and build intimacy with these sensations. And it allows you to live a much more purpose-led life.
Yeah. And, we were taught at a very young age to ignore our body signals, especially when you needed to ask permission to go to the bathroom as a child.
I know.
Or you needed a hall pass just to, relieve yourself. And it's like, I got into college and I realized that I didn't need to do that anymore, and it felt weird. But sometimes, like when I was working in the office, I started getting UTIs, urinary tract infections, because I would need to go to the bathroom, but I would have to do a call. And then after this call, there would be 2 emails. After responding to these 2 emails, there would be a meeting. And it's like, there's a part of it, it's like, oh, I fear missing out. But there's also a part of like, oh, I shouldn't listen to my body signals because then I would make me unproductive.
Yeah. And that brings up, to a lot of what I talk about, how in professionalism and in the workplace, we're taught to disconnect from our bodies. We're taught to disconnect from our humanness. We're like taught to show up as robots that work from 9 to 5 and get these things done and disconnect from our emotions and our energies, our intuition and our intuitive desires, right? Where things like using the bathroom, and then we have a lunch break, but then everyone works through their lunch break, so it would be weird if I took my lunch break. It's like, how are we creating these cultures of going against our bodies? Self-abandoning is really what it is, right? And then we create a culture of that, and then we try to like top each other on like how little sleep we got, or how much we worked, or how much we like burnt ourselves out. It's like, that's not the culture that we want to create anymore.
Definitely not. And that brings me so deeply connected with my movement of introducing, like, and prioritizing resting and digesting, because you can't do one without the other. Like, eating just becomes my first beta client when I worked with, he hated eating. He told me eating is a chore. And by the end of our time working together, he looked forward to making his daily turkey sandwich for lunch and adding an extra piece of lettuce if he felt like it right after going for a run with a glass of orange juice. I was like, wow, that's such a transformation. Because yeah, eating can feel like a chore, especially if it's boring, especially if you feel like, oh, this is the only way I can refuel my body.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not sleeping well enough. I need energy somehow, right?
Yeah.
There are 7 types of rest. There are so many different foods you can eat. There are so many things you can actually do. But first, you need to prioritize them. You can't just let that email at Friday at 3 p.m. come by and just stop your whole progress, stop you from going to the bathroom. You can't let that missed call from your mother-in-law kick you into overdrive so you decide to just grab fast food because you just don't feel like doing anything anymore. You have to put yourself first. Like you said, self-abandonment. It's been really, like, people wear that as a badge of honor for abandoning themselves and their bodies.
Yeah.
It's not just like self-expression is not just, oh, I have freedom of speech. It's allowing your body to actually be your body, to actually listen to those needs, to actually let your body just sometimes explode. Like, for lack of better words, like to be able to break down on camera and just in tears, or, you know, like, I swear, like, I probably am the person that has cried the most in your containers, because every time something uncomfy happens, I start ugly crying. And I can name at least like 3 times I've done that in this Magicmind cohort where I'm just like, yeah. And then like words just aren't wording, and then I'm just crying. But because I have the ability to do so, and the next moment I'm laughing and giggling and growing with everyone. Because like, I'm fortunate enough to realize early on in my life, before like I got different chronic conditions in my 40s and 50s, that, you know, my health is my greatest wealth. I am my greatest asset. I am the fire that fuels everything around me. I'm the one behind my movement. I'm the one pushing myself. And so I have this great responsibility over myself, that I have to take ownership of my own actions, be completely honest with myself, even when it's ugly and uncomfortable, to be that person that takes the absolute best care so I can take care of other people around me.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love that so much. Also, hi, Steph. I know you're in here.
Hi,
saying
everyone.
Oh, yeah. It's so good. And you know what? It's like, that's something I love about you, is the like unapologetic expression of your emotions. Because think about like a toddler, right? They have no shame. No shame. They will throw themselves on the ground. They will cry. They will scream. And it's not until we go into adulthood that we shove everything in, because, oh, this is not acceptable for me to cry. I need to apologize for crying, right? I get so upset, not at the person, but at the concept of apologizing when we cry. If I cry, which is a lot of the time, I'm a huge crier. I never apologize for it anymore, you know, because this is just my way of sitting with my emotions and releasing. And sometimes it needs to come out right then and there. I'm not gonna, you know, shove it back in. And I'm going to allow myself to experience the tears. Almost every single like healing event, women's circle, even dance classes, I will tear up and cry, right?
I love that.
Sometimes it's a little bit, and sometimes it's like a lot, where people will like look at me, or my daughter Alaska does this all the time, where she'll look over and she'll like, "Mommy, are you crying again?" And I'm like, and it's like, I just let myself experience that, and I let her see me experiencing that, because it's me living my life in the most me way possible, you know, which means like I cry a lot, which means I express myself a lot, which means that I'm living, like I'm truly living, not just existing. And that's something that's really important and beautiful. And I love that about you, that you bring to the table. And yes, and everything else that you shared, like there's so much beauty in that, and allowing ourselves to be seen and held in that way, because it's like, this is where the real healing happens, when you allow yourself to feel the feelings, right? When you allow yourself to show up powerfully in who you are, and then you get to bring that to the community and the online space in a way that's sovereign and powerful. right?
I
I think
agree.
that's one of the most beautiful things that we get to do. And especially like doing it in a, I'd love to hear from
Mm.
your perspective, being in a container with other women who are also spiritual, that are also emotional as well, that are also like, everyone has their own unique magic, right? Like being held in a container where it isn't just you, it's like you're in a mastermind, you're in that loving space where you can be all of yourself. What has that been like for you?
I feel like I've been understood for like one of the very few times in my life.
Mm,
Yeah, like I
wow.
remember listening to your podcast when I first started last year, and you just always mentioned how you got into coaching and no one around you understood you. And your parents obviously didn't really know what you were doing. And I
Hmm.
can relate to that. Like, my parents don't, but they don't even want to know, I think, at this point, because they've never asked, even though I'll talk about it. Um, and then I ended a 15-year friendship right before Magicmind started because I just didn't feel like anyone understood me at a soul level, and I can feel my tears coming down again.
Yeah.
Um, it's just really powerful. Like, you can't find this kind of connection anywhere else when you finally are parallel to other people's paths where they want to bring all themselves into their work, their life, their everything.
Mm,
Um, yeah, like I can't imagine like finding a group like this so easily. Um, yeah, like just being able to connect on the soul level where something will just happen. You don't even have to explain to them and they get it.
yeah.
And like one day, Brooke just called me because I wasn't responding to text. I would just talked on the phone for like an hour. It was just so random. And like
Wow.
I didn't expect something like this coming through like a mastermind container. But like Magicmind is not like any other mastermind containers. It's literally a sisterhood where you get
Mm,
to cry together, feel like you're dying together, but bounce back the next moment because there's all these
yeah.
strong women holding you that have been where
Mm,
you've already been. And you may also be going through the same thing that they're going through right now. And you get to come out of it together.
yeah. Oh, I love that. That makes me so happy because that's truly what I wanted creating this mastermind. I wanted a space where we could all bring all of ourselves, where there's so much of traditional business that's just like you as the CEO versus you as the human, like separate your life from your business, personal and professional. It's like that is such the old paradigm of doing things. That is such the old, like it's an old, outdated traditional way of doing business and
Yeah.
living up to professionalism and living up to these values, where there's so much beauty in crying together, in bringing all of yourself together, in being heard and held and seen. Like when you need to be held, you're held, and when you need a good kick in the pants, you get the good kick in the pants. And
Exactly.
I feel like that's a really beautiful part of masterminding. And for Magicmind, in the way that it's shifting into a 12-month container, it's like it's going to hold space for even more of that and even more of the ebb and flows. So it
Yeah.
isn't just like, let me try to get everything done within 6 months. It's like, how can we kind of relax into a 12-month structure, a year-long container where we build out relationships for a year long, we build out a mentorship relationship for a year long. And that's something I'm really excited about in the next, iteration and evolution. But yeah, that's so
Yeah.
beautiful. Is there anything else that feels alive for you right now that you would like to
Right
share
now.
with
Ooh.
everyone?
So I really no longer believe to split personal and work anymore, especially when you know deep down and just all over that you're doing your soul's work.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as work hours. It's just work whenever you want to, rest when you want to as well. Um, but yeah, I understand that a lot of people get into that, like, oh, I have to put in so much more, more, more. So my experience in the past 3 months is, well, I felt like I needed to do more, like meet more people, attend more events, more in-person networking events too, post more on my story. But the more I was doing, the less of myself I was leaving on the table. the less of myself I was feeling and the less of myself I was infusing into my content. So that's just something that has really felt alive for me to talk about for this past week, about how doing more may not always be the answer.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta do less. And so now each month I have 3 days that I plan for sure. I have a do nothing day where I do absolutely nothing.
Good.
I have a do something fun day where I just turn off my phone and go do something crazy fun. And I also have a go offline day, which is just everything airplane mode. I'm off the grid for 24 hours. And I think still, because I'm only a year into business, I still consider myself to be a somewhat new entrepreneur because I'm still testing all these things, being the crazy mad scientist.
Yeah.
Yes. But these 3 things have really reminded me how important it is to rest. And again, with resting comes digesting, not only your food, but your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your beliefs, especially when you're breaking down all these walls and using the rubble to build yourself a new foundation that you can rise. Yeah, I think that's all beautiful. I want to share right now. I can think of. Yeah.
Hi, John. Hi. Yeah. Oh, Chanel, this is so good. You know, I think it's like you build such a, and like you word it so beautifully too. It's like you have such this deep understanding of like, it isn't just nutrition and it isn't just health and it isn't just like your physical body. It's like all of it is intertwined. It's all of you. It's the full interconnectedness of your work and your purpose and resting and who you are. And you know, I love that because like I grew up with like a workaholic dad, and you know, like just this very like high achieving go energy, which I still love, and I still love that about myself. But I've learned to like incorporate it in ways where I am allowing myself to rest and digest, right? And then also like for me it's like opening up myself to receive, right? There's this quote, I forget what it is, but it's something along the lines of like, as an entrepreneur and a visionary and a creative, you need like silent time. You need space to actually like think and allow your thoughts to like drop in for you, rather than like if you are the one wearing all the hats in your business and doing all of the things and working all of the time, you don't actually have any space to receive the downloads and the ideas to find you, right? Like Big Magic, Liz Gilbert talks about like ideas finding you, spirits, you know, like spirit of your offer, spirit of your business. Like that is really the work that I bring into Magicmind, and allowing there to be a level of, gosh, I don't even like the word balance, because that it indicates like 50-50, which is just it's never been the case for me. But it's more so like harmony. It's a devotion. Yeah. Oh, I love that word. Like a harmony, a rhythm, right? Like that sounds very musical. That's really cute. Yeah, it's like, how can you create that mixture of like the feminine, the masculine, right? The sacred masculine, the divine feminine, resting, setting up days like that is so good. You know, I've done that so much more in my business now. And it allows you to like, you know, we talk a lot about magnetism. We talk a lot about energy, right? Like Magicmind is deepening into an energetics mastermind. And so when we're in launch, like for example, I'm in launch right now, you know, my main work and priority is making sure that my energy is top tier, right? So I'm not doing anything that's draining me. Everything I'm doing is making sure that my energy is being prioritized and protected, right? Everything I'm doing is making sure that I'm in my highest frequency and everything supports that, so that I can allow myself to show up and talk and speak and express and channel, right? So I can go on live like I did earlier for an hour and a half and just like download and channel into the ether. And that gets to be like, it's like what happens inevitably after when you are in your inner magnetism. Inevitably you're magnetizing people, clients, opportunities, right? You're showing up, you're expressing yourself, you're being authentic, you're allowing yourself to be seen. And then inevitably what happens then? Oh, you're being seen, people want to work with you, people want to get in your energy, in your vortex, right? And then inevitably what happens after that is like they get a taste of your magic. You love on them deeply. They have results that blow their mind. And then what happens inevitably after that is like they go and share with the world, and then it just expands and compounds and it grows, and then you get inspired because they're inspired. It's like, how can you create this cyclical inevitability effect to where you are always, it always starts with you being magnetized and in your magnetism. And everything we talked about today on the live, if you're hopping in a little later, definitely go and check out the replay where Chanel talks about specific foods that are going to regulate your nervous system, specific ways of connecting with your body, especially if you're feeling vulnerability hangover, right? Like these are things that are so important. That's why I always say mind, body, soul, right? It's not just thought work. It's not just changing your thoughts, and it's not just physical body and your like who you are as a body. And it's like, it's all of that, and it's your soul's work, your soul's purpose, right? Shifting the narratives, dropping into your energy, listening to your body, making decisions based on the spirit of your business. And looping that all together.
100%. Yeah, we always say that, like, oh, our souls chose this body for a human experience. Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
And with that being said, to support it, your human body, your very human body, is the only container in the whole world that can safely house your brilliant brain and your beautiful soul. There's nowhere else. There's nobody like you. You have to start with yourself.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Beautiful. Poetic.
Thank you.
Love it. That's so good. Yay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, were you gonna say something else?
Oh yeah. I thought of a meme while we were talking where like someone was sharing that they scheduled like a 5 or 15-minute crying break like every other day. And I'm like, that's freaking brilliant. Like if you have to schedule, if it has to be in the calendar for it to happen, do it. Like even if it's something as crazy as like, oh, I'm gonna schedule 15 minutes to cry. I'm gonna schedule 5 minutes to stare at the ceiling. Put it in your calendar, make it happen until it feels natural for you.
Oh, I love that, especially with my ADHD. If it's not on the calendar, it literally doesn't exist. So yeah, I love that. It's like honoring what your body. Oh, a cute dog just walked by with a wiener dog. It's like how can you listen to your body and trust your body's senses so that whenever you're being guided, whenever you are being led into something, it is, it's through your senses, and then that deepens over time. It gets easier and easier to pick up on that. Yeah, love crying, sighing, and groaning. Me too. I'm always like around the house, I'm just like,
even my dog sighs, I'm just like like those noises. It's a way of expression, and it just feels so good.
My bunny does that too. When she eats, she'll make like little oinking noises, like because she's like so happy, and then her fur will like twitch.
Oh my
and
god!
It's like, it's just so cute. You can see it in all of us, all animals. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, Chanel, thank you. This has been so beautiful. I would love to end on if you have, I'd love to hear, like, for someone, because today's launch day for Magicmind. And it just so happened that, like, it's just so amazing. And, I've been in conversation with a lot of people who've already jumped in, and some who are planning to apply. From your experience and your perspective, what would you share for someone who is wanting to jump into the container from your lens? What are some things that you would share with them?
Okay, so unfortunately my cohort is ending, but anyways, for the past 5 months, I've been able to comfortably and uncomfortably make 5 to 10 years worth of quote unquote mistakes and experiments just in the span of 5 months. Literally collapsing time-space continuum. Like I was able to explore everything, try everything, fail everything, try something new, succeed at it. Everything is supercharged. Like, and we all know that, time is invaluable. Like you can't make more time. You can make more money, but you can't make more time. If you want something supercharged that will not just like bring you out of your shell, but yank you out of your shell, Magicmind's the container you want to be in. Like it'll just pull everything out of you from the deepest, darkest corners that you may have purposely forgotten or didn't even know you exist. It's going to pull that out of you and bring it to light and then help you alchemize it into power.
Oh, yeah. I love that. You should write the messaging for it. Yeah, that's so good. And that's a lot of what I've been saying is just like all of those shadows in which we think that we need to hide as business owners. They come to the light. Like there's no hiding when you're in Magicmind, and it is a portal, it's a vortex. You step into it, it collapses time, and it brings you home to yourself, right? Like I'm even leaning away from calling it a business mastermind, even though obviously that's a lot of what we're doing, but it's like it's an energetics mastermind that focuses on marketing, messaging, and sales, right? And so when you bring all of who you are here to this space, to this container, and you're loved and you're held and you're seen, and you're someone who's done a really good job holding that space, and then also being held, being loved, allowing yourself to be supported in this space as well. Yeah.
Catch me ugly crying again next Tuesday.
Oh, I love you. I've loved having you in Magicmind, and just, yeah, this is so beautiful. Why don't you wrap up with sharing with people how to work with you and all of the magical ways in which people can connect, share with us all the things.
So you can find me on Instagram at Chanel CHUYNH. How I'm presenting my offers and ways to work with me is I actually have a menu on my profile. It's pinned right in the middle.
I love that.
It literally looks like a restaurant menu. And last week I posted that there was going to be a seasonal special with a market price. No, it's not lobster. It's better than lobster. The newest way to work with me is a one-off session where we get to know each other in a very intimate 90-minute container called the Rest Stop. You can find more information on my profile or send me a DM. I'll chat about it. The whole purpose of this 90-minute container is to really reinforce and strengthen the connection you have between your gut and your brain, so that you know how to fuel yourself, how to feed yourself, how to really absorb everything that you take in, not just food, but the coaching that you're getting, the content that you're consuming, the lessons you are being taught, whether by a teacher or by life kicking your ass. It covers both the scientific and spiritual ways, and that is how I operate. So I just want to invite everyone here, beautiful humans, to the Rest Stop, where you can finally take a breath, be comfortable, and learn how to come back stronger.
Wow, look at that embodied method that we created in Magicmind. Yes, that's so good. And just the way that you're articulating that and taking up space to sell, like, yes. I love that. I'm so here for it. So yeah, if anyone is feeling aligned to Chanel's work and even just exploring deeper, like go in and DM her, just have a conversation. She's like your girly for all things nutrition and health and spirituality and all of it intertwined. And yeah, I just love you so much.
Yeah.
I love all of that.
Thank you. I love you too.
Your work.
Come find me. I love talking. I love talking so much. I've been like flirting with having my own podcast, but there's a lot of there's a lot of plates on my table right now, but it's definitely on there.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that you use that analogy too. Yes, I definitely see that for you.
Honestly, my brain is just always about food. Like, you know this. We've eaten out together like 3 times. I'm just like reaching for everything to eat.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thank you so much for being on. Thank you to everyone who's here live or watching this on the replay. I'll turn this into a replay on my feed. So just really, really grateful. Just so grateful for our experience in Magicmind together, our relationship as friends, mentorship relationship, all the things. Just so proud of you. So
much fun. Thank you.
Yay. All right. Love you. I will talk to you soon. And thank you, everyone.
Bye. And bye, everyone.
Thank you so much for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe. If this episode resonated with you, please take a screenshot, share it on your Instagram stories, and tag me at tiffanychung.co. I truly appreciate interacting with every one of you. Catch you all on the next one.